Previously on GOSPOCAST, priority, service, and worship. Now, when we talk about New Age idols, we're not just talking of something of the old school that you mold and you bow down to. No, the New Age idol focused on service aspect of the worshiping of idol more than the bowing down to the physical molded images. So what they do is that they seek for the first priority in your heart. They seek for the first priority in your heart, and when you give it to them, when you give in to them, and there are many these days, when you give in to them, then they look forward to take the service out of you. Everything in you then starts to move towards this particular thing that has become an idol, and then it goes to the level of worship. GOSPOCAST continues right after this. Okay, I'm so excited to welcome you to brand new GOSPOCAST for today. My name is Star. I'll be your host for today. And today we're still continuing. As I told you yesterday, we'll be rounding off the image series this week. We're still continuing today on the series we'll be running for the past 2 weeks. And what are we talking about today? We're talking about the New Age idols agenda. These idols of the New Age that are different from the old school idol. They have a few basic agendas that we begin to unveil today, and one of them is very, very important that you look at it today. Today's topic is about make them anxious and troubled about many things. Make them anxious and troubled about many things. The question here is that one of the things that the New Age idol brings that is different from the old school idol is that the New Age idol is not just going to make you committed to things. It's going to create anxiety in you, and you will be troubled so much when something comes across some of these idols. You'll be troubled. Maybe one is not around, it breaks down, or availability, you can access it and stuff like that, and people's hearts are really, really, really troubled because of this. We're going to go to the book of Luke today, Luke chapter 10 from verse 40 to 42, but I think we could just take a look at 39. I think we're going to take a look at verse 39 as we read on today. Okay, look at Luke 10 verse 39. And she had a sister named Mary, who seated herself at the Lord's feet and was listening to his teaching. We know this popular story, but look at verse 40. But Martha, overly occupied and too busy. Now mark these two words, because this is exactly what's happening in our day now. So idol worship is not just something that makes you to bow down to images. These are the major factors of things that makes you overly occupied and too busy for God. Now remember, the contrast here is that Mary was seated at the feet of the Lord listening to him, but the other hand, Martha was overly occupied and too busy and was distracted with much serving. Now we talked about the aspect of serving that these New Age idols bring, that they want to take every service from you. And she came up with Jesus and said, Lord, is it nothing to you that my sister have let me to serve alone? Tell her to come along with me and all this stuff. Now look at what Jesus said in verse 41. But the Lord replied to her by saying, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things. You are anxious and you're troubled about many things. There is of only one, but a few things, Mary has chosen the good portion. I like the King James version of Luke 10:42. He said, but one thing is needful. One thing is needful. So now you look at this now. At every point in time, God was telling him, Jesus was telling Martha, the priority of your heart, there is only one thing. There is one thing, and that's the place of God in your heart. Is the most needful thing in whatever you do, whatever activity or service you do. It must be the thing occupying the number one place in your heart, because if it is not, you are too occupied by other things and too busy and distracted, you will end up serving things that should serve you. You end up becoming a slave to things you should master, and this is difficult to handle these days because there are plenty of them. There are many things, and Jesus said this thing. Now we're going to round off this edition today by reading the book of Luke chapter 21 verse 34. Jesus said, take But take heed to yourself and be on your guard. We talked about it yesterday. Lest at any time your hearts be overburdened and depressed, weighed down with the giddiness and headache and the swell of self-indulgence, drunkenness, and worldly worries. Now, watch this now. It's important that you take heed to yourself. You know that the thing that is the most priority in your heart is the place of God and the thing that He wants you to do. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.